They really need to make sure that an executive director, we just got done talking about doing background checks on people that cause harm to the agency itself. I believe you guys just voted to pay claims out negatively for something that he did, but you're still keeping him in place. So you just need to think about that.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. This operating budget for fiscal 2021 that's before us is a comprehensive budget that includes all staffing, even at the executive level. Is that correct, Mr. Herron? And so we'll definitely be able to take a deeper look when Mr. Herron comes up if we have any questions for him relative to what this does not and does include, but it's a comprehensive operating budget. Touches every aspect of the agency at every level. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
I think it's important for legal staff to clarify the settlements and make sure the record is clearly stated or articulated. We did settle, but through the settling, there was no admission of fault or guilt, correct?
That's correct. So there's no admission of fault or guilt on behalf of the housing authority or the executive
But it was a
director.
closed door session that we don't look at.
But Mr. Scott's question is relevant. He was just making sure and wanting to determine what this budget covers in terms of the operating aspects of our agency. And once you come up, Mr. Herron, and just verify on the record the comprehensive nature of this budget, and in terms of employment at the executive level, is that included in the budget?
Fred Herron, Director of Finance. Whether Mr. Williams is here or not, we still would need a budget position to pay any executive director or position that's vacant or filled. So this budget does include all employees of the agency.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Herron. Anyone else from the public? We have a microphone heading expeditiously to Ms. Turner right now. And if someone else would like to speak, if you'd want to come on forward and be prepared to state your name for the record when Ms. Turner is done speaking. Ms. Turner.
Beatrice Turner. You know, I hope this budget gonna call for they gonna be able to do some work over there in Jamestown Tower, because now they have put out a bid to do the roof, and now it done stopped, it's on hold and everything. So I sure hope they gonna be able to do some work over there in Jamestown Tower with this new budget.
All right, anyone else like to speak on this agenda item, number 9? Hearing no one, close the public comment or public forum, and I'll turn it over to the board for any comments or questions that you have relative to this budget proposal.
I had some questions. As I was looking through, I noticed that the FSS program, the funding was getting split up between multiple entities, like the Public Housing Choice Program and Housing Choice Voucher, and I wasn't quite sure why we were losing money in that program. Or maybe I didn't understand.
Fred Herron, Director of Finance. The FSS program is a grant program which we received from the housing and urban development. We received a little more than $700,000 annually for this program. Our salary and benefit exceeds that grant amount, so any portion that exceeds the grant amount is paid by the recipients of either the Section 8 program or the public housing program, and that's allowed by HUD.
So it's not cutting the program, it's supplementing it to keep it viable as it currently stands, with the hopes of perhaps expanding into the future, but it's not a cut to the program, it's just an allocation of that overage,
Correct.
shared cost by those divisions that have participants in the program.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, Misha. Question from Commissioner Cheryl Davis.
You said that it comes from other programs or divisions or departments. What were those?
It comes from the grant itself.
No, the differential that's split
Comes
among
from
the
Section 8.
departments.
Recipients of the FSS program are clients from the Section 8 program as well as our public housing program. So the percentage split would be from those two programs
All
to
right.
make up the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herron. Hold on, don't run too far. Any other comments or questions relative to the budget proposal? Questions for Mr. Herron, or comments that you'd like to put on the record from the board?
I do have something else I wanted to add. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, actually, we closed the public hearing, but once we get through with the board, we can. Is this relative to this agenda item?
This is the housing voucher.
Okay. You can come on forward if you'd like to sit in the front row, and then as soon as we hear the questions from the board members, we'll have one more public statement or comment. That's okay.
I wanted to also add that it would be nice to add some of the other companies under the FSS program. I know traditionally it's always been where if the company did business with the housing authority, then we would require them to have like an FSS component for Section 3. Is there a way that we can add more employers within Nevada to that program?
I think we're always trying to solicit and through our procurement participation in the Section 3 program to maximize that participation both at the contractor or proprietor level as well as the resident participant level. So that's an ongoing effort, and I think that's largely driven by the procurement department and FSS in concert with each other to keep that program viable and help it to grow. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, so the Section 3 program is relevant for those companies that actually have contracted procurement contracts with the agency. I think Commissioner Hooks is specifically talking about how we expand job opportunities for those in our FSS program. And the FSS program does that through our job workshop program. And so they have employers that come in that are able to assist individuals become employed. And so our FSS team, in my opinion, does a good job of expanding those opportunities of further employment, including working with Workforce, our partner here in the county.
So they're always on the lookout for new partners for employment, sustainable wage to fulfill the goals of FSS. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Herron that are on the phone, commissioners?
No.
Hearing none? Okay, thank you, Mr. Herron. Gentlemen, if you'd like to, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but if Mr. St. Clair, oh, yes, sir. You had a comment regarding this budget item?
Yes, I have. I wanted to know that the housing vouchers were included. They said there's no funding for the vouchers for Rose Garden. They said after we stayed a resident for 1 year, we would be entitled to the Section 8 vouchers. When I previously checked on it, they said there's no funding for the vouchers.
Well, this particular budget does include the HCV or Housing Choice Voucher Program is our largest program per percentage dollar-wise of the budget, and so it does include that. In terms of specific voucher allocations and properties that align with those, I don't have an answer to that, but can someone speak with Mr. St. Clair after the meeting relative to that specific site?
Right.
Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you, Mr. St. Clair. But yes, the HCV program is a huge part of this budget proposal.
Right, okay.
Because that's our largest program and it serves the largest number of individuals. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn it over to the board for a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there one more person? I informally reopened the public forum aspect for Mr. St. Clair because he had his hand up. Would you like to speak regarding the budget, ma'am, before we close it and go to a motion and a vote? We can bring a microphone to you if it would be helpful.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Tommy.
Hi, my name is Beverly Hammond.
What's your last name, Beverly?
Hammond, Hannon.
Hannon. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm from Mary Bennett Plaza, and I want to know as well about the Section 8 voucher. How they taking new applications when we've had applications in for over a year. Now the RAD has taken over, we gotta wait another year or two. What's happening with that? We
So-
were told that we would get them in June or July.
Okay, I understand your concern and frustration, Beverly. If it's okay with you, whoever we have that speaks with Mr. St. Clair can speak with you as well regarding the specific Rose Garden voucher process. The item that we're discussing here is the comprehensive operating budget for the entire agency. So was that okay with you, Beverly, if we have someone speak to you after the meeting?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
They're going out the telephone.
Thank you. All right, we'll close the public comment and I'll turn it to the board for a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Cheryl Davis and a second by Vice Chair Olivia Diaz. All in favor of approval of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority operating budget for fiscal 2021? Say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you very much for that. We'll go to, that's the end of our discussion and action items. We'll go to section 5, business items. Number 10, receive report from the Executive Director on administrative and operational activities of the agency. Director Williams.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll try my best to make this short. As you know, next week, the Clark County school system will be going into what they call virtual distance learning, and I want to just update the commission and the public on some of the activities that the Housing Authority has been doing to try to partner with our nonprofit providers in the educational sphere. So number one, we are working with UNNR and the Gwynn Center to get a 4-H after-school program at our public housing sites. We've started discussions with the Southern Nevada Micro Academy to possibly partner and find ways to assist our children in family development while CCSD goes virtual. We're going and also providing, as you know, we did a couple of months ago, provide these free T-Mobile Wi-Fi hotspots so children and families with school-age children can connect to the internet. Obviously in partnership with CCSD, they will be providing those Chromebooks. We started, and particularly with Rulon Earl and Beaver Estates residents, we restarted our shopping transportation. As we know, there's been some cutbacks with the RTC and some of their bus routes, and so we're looking to supplement that. And then also one of the things that I think is important is that we are exploring, and that started with conversations with Commissioner Justin Jones, and using some of our community centers that we have at 38 of our property sites. Not all of them have community centers, but using those as a academic center hub for virtual learning for our students so that they're not always at home getting academic education at home with a parent, but also with volunteers or tutors. And so we just want to do our part for the number of children that are in our programs, and also help out the community and supplement what CCSD is physically closed. So I just wanted to give the commission and the public an update on that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Any questions from the board for Mr. Williams regarding this effort that we're putting in to assist it's all hands on deck for back to school this year because it's so challenging and unusual, and I'm really happy to hear that we're doing what we can to help the residents and the children of our participants. So thank you for that. Any questions for?
Yes, I do have a question. Where is the 4-H distant learning program going to be held?
When we get to that, we'll know. We actually just started those discussions this week, but we're looking at places where we have community centers and on our properties, and having those academic enrichment programs on site there.
All right, thank you.
Will y'all
Thank you,
provide
Commissioner Hooks.
that?
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Is that your report, Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 11, identify emerging issues to be addressed by the board and executive director at future meetings, receive updates on the activities of the executive director, and direct the executive director accordingly. Are there any items that the board would like to bring to the floor at this time for future discussion, or something that we need an update on? I'll go to the individuals on the phone first.
No.
Okay? And how about individuals that are here?
Still there?
Are you guys still, hold on, let's do a soft roll call. How about Commissioner Shaw, you still there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Commissioner Weekly? Hanging in there with us? Mr. Segerbloom, how about you?
I'm hanging.
All right, hanging in there, hanging tough, that's good. How about you, Sharon, Ms. Davis?
I'm here.
Is it hot in Henderson? I know the answer to that. Okay, was there a comment?
Yes, I wanted to bring up the fact, since this is election year 2020, and it would be nice if we could get some information about the platforms for both presidential candidates on the housing programs. The Democratic plan looks very, very good, and it'd be nice if we knew what both were offering so we can vote appropriately.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hooks. I just wanted to say in relation to this new idea for 4-H experience in our community, I think that's awesome, and I just wanted to share with you, Mr. Williams, as you have these conversations and help this program to materialize, that I was last week at Ahern has a big facility right there on Bonanza and Martin Luther King, and they have an orchard in there, and it's about 4,000 trees. They have a beautiful chicken coop. They're going to have horses in there, and the gentleman that I was visiting there, his name is Lloyd Benson. He oversees the orchard, and he said that that's open for tours and visits for school kids, and I think that would merge very, very nicely as an opportunity to get out in small groups, of course, following the protocols for safety, to see firsthand agriculture, ironically right here in the middle of our densely urban community. It's really a beautiful orchard, and you probably wouldn't know it was there unless I told you. So now you know it's there. It's really cool to visit. Adults and children alike, it's really, really impressive. They have 6 beehives, 4,000 trees, amazing fresh fruit that's ready to eat. So I encourage you to do that. All right, anything else on item number 11 from the board? All right, we'll close that item, and I'll go to the last item on our agenda, which is citizen participation. Items raised under this portion of the agenda cannot be deliberated or acted upon by the Board of Commissioners for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority until it is posted and noticed in compliance with the open meeting law. If you wish to speak about matters that are not listed on the agenda or posted on the agenda, here's your opportunity to do so. The comments will be limited to 3 minutes. And again, we're super thankful that you're here today and appreciate your patience and cooperation and the mutual professionalism and respect that we can all have for each other as we discuss these items. Mr. Hawkins, would you like to come forward, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Again, my name is Darrell Hawkins, 900 South Brush Street, Sartini Plaza, Unit 318. I was here last month, and I just want to put it on record in regards to my hot water. I got home 5 minutes later, the gentleman came up, and I've had hot water since, and I just wanted to thank you guys for your services. Another thing is, with the security, this made a major difference. That's why I keep mentioning it. I just don't want it to go away. We live there, and that's our home, and it's just made a major difference. So I really wanted to stay there because it makes a difference with all the homeless people that we're surrounded by. Another thing is that I didn't even realize that we had was the guy, his name is Daniel, that works in the, I guess it's for social something, so he provides a service for the tenants there. I was not aware of that when I initially moved in, but I just want to bring it to your attention that there's a lot of services that's going on in there. And he's helped me when I was having my treatment done with transportation. He's helped me with the energy assistance program and any other issues that I brought up. So all in all, I really appreciate where I live at right now, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I hope that it continues to be that way. That's all I really had to say, and I just wanted to say thanks. Okay?
Really appreciate you coming here to close the loop and share some feedback, Mr. Hawkins.
Oh, you're
fantastic. Thank you, sir. Do you need a microphone, Ms. Turner?
No, she's coming up there.
Oh, okay. Hi, Ms.
Good
Carpenter.
morning, Phyllis Carpenter, 5200 Alpine, number 5. Okay, first I want to start off with, my neighbor. She's in her 70s. She has a brain aneurysm, so she has seizures. Last Thursday, her air conditioner went out. They brought her a portable unit Thursday night, didn't work. She called Friday afternoon, no response till Monday morning. It was hot over the weekend. It was 113 degrees out, and with the humidity, it was bad, okay? And with her having seizures, they didn't even bother to do anything for her, okay? That's item number 1. Number 2 is, last month after the meeting, I got a check for my reimbursement. Mr. Williams told me he couldn't justify my labor, so he only paid me for the materials, which, if you added up my materials, it was more than what he paid me. My materials cost him more than what he gave me. Okay, and then, so they came back and did more mold testing. I did have mold. The manager told me it was only in the bathroom closet. I asked her for boxes because they said they was gonna come in and invade it. I asked her for boxes last Wednesday so that I could pack up my stuff and have it out of their way. She told me, first it started, she wanted me to go sign some transfer papers. I didn't ask for a transfer. Then we're going back and forth about the boxes. Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, I was supposed to check into a hotel Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Monday at 3 o'clock, she brought me 2 medium boxes and 2 small boxes and 2 wardrobe boxes. That wasn't even enough to pack up my food in my pantry alone, okay? And back and forth we went. So 5:30 Tuesday, after I go to get the room, it's been a nightmare. I'm thankful that they're over there doing the mold abatement, but at the same time, I asked the manager to provide me with their certifications before they went in my house, because they didn't do, The last time, the mold was still on the wall. And when the lady showed up, she said she didn't have to provide that to me. And I would think that being that I asked for it prior, that I would have gotten that. Also, I've left messages for Mr. Williams. I've even come in person and written out a request to meet with him. No response. Eva, the same thing. I got a letter about my deposit for the apartment, which I was going to take out of the money, out of the stuff that I did in the apartment for the reimbursement of my labor. That's the part that I was going to pay my deposit with. This letter says, as you know, as of September 1st, our agency will begin the eviction process for non-payment. Well, they still haven't addressed, my windows don't close, they don't lock, my dishwasher, I don't even use the dishwasher, but yet every couple days it fills with stagnant water. Yeah.
Ms. Carpenter?
Yes.
So I've personally toured with you
Right.
at your property and
Right.
the other gentleman. I was inside your unit with the other gentleman that
Right.
is your neighbor. I know that I've been on the emails, the back and forth. I know there have been pretty consistent communication. It's not perfect, it's not ideal. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get a resolution that's satisfactory to you. And it's an ongoing process and an ongoing effort. I don't believe it's any deliberate neglect of any sort. You have some situations there that we're trying to address. So,
Okay,
but I'm
so-
thankful, the time is up. We can talk, I mean, I've been involved in this, you know,
Okay,
as
well,
the chair.
you also said that they would reimburse me
No,
up to
no.
$600.
Hold on,
I have the
hold on.
email.
Hold on, I
Okay.
would love to talk to you further. I've been involved, I haven't neglected the situation, and I think it's important that these items are addressed, but I'm thankful that you've taken the time to come and talk to us today. Are those cookies for me?
Yeah, sure, you want
No,
one?
I'm
I left
kidding.
them in my house one night
trying to
and
cut
there's
back.
black mold on them.
Thank you. Ms. Turner? Beverly's coming up, so we'll hear from Ms. Turner and then we'll hear from Beverly.
Beatrice.
Take your time, Beverly.
You know, I sit here and I come here into the meetings, and you got your little lawyer who don't want me to come to the meetings. The hell with them, because I've been coming for 30 years. And so I'm going to keep coming till I get tired of coming. But then I see y'all pay off 2 settlements, and y'all say, well, we gonna pay them because of all the legal fees and this. Today, I'm going on record. I want to know, and I want it in writing, how much money was paid out on my lawsuit with Mr. Parker. And I want the minutes for the last 2-3 months. And those are public information, bitch, and I better
Hey,
get it.
excuse me, Ms. Turner?
Now,
Your time is up. No, your time is
No,
up.
excuse me.
I treat
'cause
you with
that is
respect.
public
I'm sorry, hold on.
information.
Can we
And
shut
she
the
gonna sit
microphone
over
off?
there and say I can't have it?
Listen, hold
And
on a
it's
second.
public- you
Ms.
know
Turner,
what?
Ms.
You
Turner,
need to
I
be out
treat
this
you with
board
tremendous
too.
professionalism and respect, and I've never said any derogatory word from this podium to anyone, and I don't appreciate you doing that today. Thank you. All right, thank you. Gentlemen, the security officer, if you'll help Ms. Turner out the door, that would be great, unless she's gonna stay and be calm. That's fine. Hi, Beverly, how are you today?
Okay,
Thanks for taking your time to come all the way up here.
okay.
Sorry for that disruption.
It's all right.
It's gonna be many more. Get
Okay.
the hell away from me.
Excuse me, hold on. She's okay as long as, if she can stay here and it's someone else's turn to speak. This is the public comment section of our meeting. One person speaks, they have 3 minutes to speak, and the rest of us listen. We're not gonna act or deliberate on anything that's discussed, but I wanna hear from Miss Beverly here, and I'd like the audience to be quiet and respectful if that's okay. If we can all maintain that, then we're good, officer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Sorry, Beverly.
It's okay. Again, what's my name? Beverly Hannon. Hannon. All right. I'm from Marion Bennett, as I stated before. I spoke about 2 months ago and I said, we need a manager at Marion Bennett. Okay, and I think you've heard before, or had some complaints and stuff, but we really need one. I was given a letter, a notice of lease violation, that said I left my home about 1:23 and told me that I propped the door open for a young man. There was a young man standing there when I went out. I'd never seen him before, didn't know who he was. Okay? But this, they write me up for, a lease violation. Okay, there are several things. Since I came to the meeting and said that we needed a manager, that's been happening there. Number one, you can note, as you notice, I'm handicapped somewhat. And then I pull up to the back door to unload packages if I've been to the grocery store. Okay, I was told that my lease would be terminated by me pulling up there.
Oh, just pause for just a second till the ruckus. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry I keep interrupting you, Beverly.
That's okay. I was told if I pull up to the back door to unload packages, they're gonna terminate my lease. I've been in-house and been living there ever since it's been open. I never heard this before. Where, is this a new law or something that just come in effect? Okay, this is several things that I've had from her, and I don't understand it. My car is parking, is cracking up the pavement by pulling up to the back door. So can somebody get us some help over there, please? We need it.
So, Mr. Chairman, I know I normally don't speak, but if Ms. Hamlin can stay, I'll personally look at that. You know, one of the things, if there is some type of retaliation going on, I definitely it doesn't sit well with me, so I'll look at that. And I know to the answer with the property managers, I know that there's some interviews going on next week for assistant and property managers. We have several vacancies at our agency, probably up to about 24 vacancies. So we're doing our best to fill those positions. But if you wait, I would definitely like to personally look at your information, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. St. Clair.
How you doing, sir? Speaking of
Sorry I didn't remember your name earlier. I'm going to be 50 next month, so I'm blaming it on that.
I'll be happy you get there. I'm 70. I'm 70. And it's St. Clair, not St. Clair. I've been calling me a saint, and I am not a saint, I am a saint.
Okay. Oh, emphasis on the saint. I like that.
Okay. Now, this is on Rose Garden security. We have no security yet. And then I was appraised with a letter for something. They said I was out of line, aggravated, verbal, because someone came over there and told me they just bought Rose Garden. He said he's the new owner. So I said, well, I don't know nothing about that. And he wrote me up, told me I'm in violation of my lease. So the new owner name is Carlos of Rose Garden. And I think it needs to be addressed. And other than that, we need security. That's it.
Thank you, St. Clair.
And
Mr. St. Clair.
And I do need this to be looked into. Because
Okay.
I'm in violation of my lease.
Okay.
Like he's about to put me out.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
So, Mr. St. Clair, if you stay behind, I'll actually personally look at your stuff also. The housing authority still owns the building, so I don't know what that letter says.
Oh, he told me he just bought the property.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and you know I addressed him just the way he came to me. So he said I talked to him in an aggravating situation. But I just told him I know way better than that. And he said, are you gonna write me up?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Gentleman in the back, would you like to speak? You want a microphone or you want to come forward? All right. Yeah, take your time. I want to stay in here as long as I can. It's nice and cool in here.
Thank you. William McCracken is my name.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
William McCracken.
William McCracken.
Right. Rose Garden Apartments. And I was here at the last meeting last month. Spoke a little bit on security. Got more news for you that I didn't get a chance to talk about. There's a big issue about security at Rose Garden. A year and a half ago, when they were doing the planning for us to move in over there, one of the biggest concerns of the residents was security. Nevada Hand stated that they have security people ready, willing, and able to be of service to us at that time. And feel free to call on the security people. Well, when we started to move in there, there was a security guard at the front door for 1 week. And then he disappeared. You know, it's like, disappeared. Okay, so, and we haven't had security people since. So in the last year and a half, there's been some events that make it kind of regrettable living there, okay? It's like they pulled a switchy on us, okay? Bait and switch kind of thing, you've heard of that. And I believe that's what happened. So let me give you an example of something that happened to me personally. Number one, the front door is a sliding door, security door, okay? And in order to get in, you must put in a code calling a resident that you are there to visit. And if you don't do that, you're not supposed to get in. Well, since there is no security people there, that door is useless, okay? Because people just, the wrong people can just follow somebody else in, and they're in the building and do whatever they choose to do. And there's been break-ins, as you probably know. It's not something that, okay, it's a brand new building, but it's as far as living there, there's a lot of people that regret moving in there. So we feel that we've been kind of gypped, you might say, okay? Taking our money and not looking out for our rights.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. McCracken. That concludes your time, but I appreciate you sharing articulately what your concerns are. Thank you.
Okay. There's another lady back here that would like to express her interest.
The public comment section portion is still open. Is there someone else who would like to step forward and speak during this public comment? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how you doing?
Good. Can you tell us your name?
Dorcas Davis.
Ms. Davis.
I've been at these meetings for about 3 years coming, at the old Rose Garden too. But the thing is about the wheelchair people. You know, some of them ain't able to walk to the car, but they still can't leave their wheelchair by their car getting in and out. So they asked me to say something about it, because nothing's been done about it yet. And I thought for special need people that they could do that. But the Vatican said we still got to, they got to walk down and they can't leave their wheelchair out. For necessities, you know, because this guy can barely even walk. But he can't, you know, he drives, but he can't leave his wheelchair there to come back because he'll get evicted.
I wonder if sounds like something that staff could participate in, I would imagine, to help, folks out in and out with leaving a wheelchair in the parking lot may or may not be the best thing to do anyway, but there might be, I would presume, a better way to address this. So
yeah,
it's certainly something that I remember it being mentioned last month, and
yeah,
sounds like Mr. Williams is cognizant of some of the concerns and issues that are at Rose Garden right now, and that this one remains absolutely one of them that I would consider very, very concerning. So,
okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Yeah, I'd just like to say on the record that we are giving Nevada Hand the adequate time that we deem necessary for them to correct the issues that we're bringing forward to them. And we will address that if it doesn't get corrected toward the residents' satisfaction.
Okay. No, I mean, I know a lot of times when folks that are handicapped, they would take their wheelchair with them because they, of course, need it at the place that they're traveling to, and usually parking spaces accommodate the offloading and loading of that equipment, but not necessarily staging it in parking lots. So I don't know about that, but definitely some facilitation of people getting in and out of the building would make a lot of sense to me at a senior complex. So.
Yeah, we do that at our.
All right. Okay. Anyone else that would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your patience while we worked out the technical issues. Thank you so much for our team for making it happen and fulfilling our meeting obligations and opportunity today, and hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.